God damn it! And welcome to the Hate Bit Podcast. The 5-year shooting spree continues. Ladies and gentlemen, I am your intrepid host, Yell Chaos. Joining me, as always, a man so classy that even when he drives his motorcycle, he keeps his legs crossed. From Phoenix, Arizona, the ravishing Razor Fist.
The man you love to hate until it's time to steal my jokes. Godspeed, Goyam.
Fantastic. And all the way back east, the man, the Pennsylvania pixel puncher himself, Alpha Omegason.
I started playing Warhammer. If you don't see me, it's because I'm basically sucking dick under a bridge to pay for more figures. Hello.
It takes that much sometimes. Good evening and welcome to our program. Now, I'd like to recommend to everybody, check us out on the social media. Give us a sub right here on YouTube. Also, don't forget to check us on Facebook, on Twitter, on the Instagram, all that shit you hear about every single week. That's just what we do here. Shameless plug. If we were here for fun, you know, we'd be more funny, but that's not the case. So also, if you have questions, comments, concerns, correspondence of any kind, please drop us a line at hatebitpodcast@gmail.com. All right, with that all having been said, we got a great show for you today, a big show. And I want to say without much further ado that after telling Reggie Fils-Aimé to get up his big fat Haitian ass and get my NES Classic, it showed up in the mail. So I was very happy about that.
Look at how fucking small that thing is.
Isn't it? I mean, absolutely just the tiniest little thing. If you'll see, if we could contrast and compare there.
Oh,
just a little bitty thing. An absolutely little bitty thing.
Now,
what
is that
yeah, what is that sticker on your fucking controller? It looks like
this was from Nintendo Power.
Is that an original one?
Absolutely. This was mine when I was a kid.
Wow.
So and I pulled it out of the Nintendo Power issue that was at the school library. Because fuck the school library, I want your sticker.
I just want to point out your fucking school library had Nintendo Power. That's amazing to me.
Yeah, I didn't get a fucking education, but we had goddamn Nintendo Power.
Hey, Alpha, you mind turning your speakers down? We're getting echo over here.
Oh. I'm personally just excited over the idea that my school, the best thing that we got was zoo books.
Yeah,
hey, zoo books are a good time, especially when you were later on when you were a teenager and you discovered marijuana. Zoo books was the shit.
No, man, all we got over here was Ranger Rick.
Aww. Well, that's better than goddamn highlights for children.
Yeah.
Okay, look, highlights only existed when you went to the fucking doctor.
Yeah, highlights for children was to convince you that there are worse things than going to the dentist, and that's reading highlights for children.
I always thought that it was supposed to be like low form anesthesia, and they just put it out there and hope for the best. Might be. Didn't work.
I mean, you know, root canals with Fuzzy the Bear. It doesn't fucking help. I don't give a shit.
I think Highlights magazine existed to show us what happens when what artists do when they're not illustrating the shit that goes on the fucking Bluebell fucking butter goddamn buckets. You know what I mean? Like the fucking shitty kind of looks wood engraved illustrations that go on the fucking butter tin. What the fuck is that shit? It was goddamn terrible. I don't understand. Terrible illustrations, terrible like. Hey, you know what would be great for a children's fucking publication? Would be long form fiction. Let's give them fucking long ass articles with no illustrations to read. Brilliant, fantastic. In the 90s when they have video games they could be playing.
You saw those fucking video games. Don't give me that shit.
Yeah, exactly.
I kept on thinking about, like, when you were talking about their butter bowls, that's what I eat all my ramen out of. So, and cereal.
those were called poor people bowls.
That's called the fine china. That's what we bring out when we really want to be classy.
Exactly.
Yes, you know, just below those people that, you know, have to get their Tupperware at Flame Broiler.
Yeah, what do you even call those things? I'm like, butter buckets, butter bowls. What the fuck are they called?
They're called Tupperware you don't mind leaving at someone else's party. Here's salsa. Sorry, there's butter in it.
Yeah, exactly.
But one thing I want to say about the NES Classic, though, this controller is fantastic. I will say that this is 1-to-1. Great stuff, and I enjoy it, except that this, you know, the cable's like 6 inches long.
Did you at least go and get an extension cable for that shit?
I read bad things about the extension cable. Ladies and gentlemen, a run-in, making his triumphant return to the hate bit stage, Canada's finest Englishman, Johnny Millennium.
No, I think you're sadly mistaken. I'm actually Razorfist's younger brother. Stupid brother. I'm Johnny Butterdick. Yeah, and I'll tell you the 3 things in life I hate. I hate Elric, I hate Battletech, and I hate the Shadow. We're very different brothers, us. Hey, I gotta say, I love putting on the gloves.
Yes.
This is a very nice little touch.
Yeah. I feel like you're about to go blow Rob Halford behind the stage.
My hands are sweaty enough for it. Hey, I gotta ask you that, Razorfist. Do your hands get sweaty wearing these gloves all the time?
No, because they're driving gloves. They're insulated. They got the little. They're aerodynamic.
Mine are from the dollar store, and the studs in them are like poking into my knuckles, and my hands are sweating profusely more than they normally do. It's a little bit creepy.
You got it from like a costume shop.
I think it's clear the
Well,
budget
I went into the Razorfist section. I was
Nice.
like, "Hey, you look like Razorfist. Can you help me?" They're like, "Here's some aviators. Here's some gloves," and I'm like, "Okay." And then I'm wearing my Kojima shirt because I know how much you love Kojima, so I thought I'd wear that as well.
I figured, yeah. You in order to be Nega Razor, there's no way you can do that without a Foxhound shirt.
I gotta take the gloves off. They're way too fucking sweaty. Like
In Canada, you're sweating.
this.
I think
no,
we really have reverse roles.
These things are
Dude,
faulty.
I'm in the Northeast and I'm sweating my ass off, but I'm pretty sure that all of Pittsburgh we consider a heat wave of everything beyond 65 degrees.
I'm cool as a cucumber over here, and I'm living on the fucking yellow sun.
Oh my god, my hands are bad. How you guys doing?
Fantastic.
I'm great, and thank you for asking. I just
We're-
wanted to point out, it seems like the budget is much higher on the Razor Fist program than on the Happy Console Gamer.
I wish I knew how to do it all grayscale like that.
Well, you just fuck with the webcam settings. Don't
Oh.
worry.
No, it happened when he turned 30. Anyway,
So, what's
back
going on?
on with our program. John, you're
Oh,
just
yeah.
in time.
So you got an NES Mini real quick. Have you fucking played anything on it?
Sure.
What all have you played?
I'm actually playing Zelda all the way through. So I'm doing Zelda as well as Breath of the Wild on the Wii U. And I'm not as quick at Punch Out as I used to be, which is disappointing. And I was actually starting Star Tropics earlier.
Dude, Star Tropics. I still can't get over why the fuck that's an IP that Nintendo's just like, we never want to acknowledge that bastard child again. It's such a good game.
Such great music as well, right? Fantastic stuff. Yeah, I
Dude,
remember a couple of E3s ago, there was a rumor that it was coming out for the Wii U, and I fell for it like the fucking idiot that I am. I was like, "Yay, it's coming out!" And then all of a sudden, I'm like, "Well, of course it's not." I was so disappointed.
And then we got Citizens of Earth.
All right.
Yeah. Now, with that having been said, though, so we had that, and now for the bad news. Don Rickles passed away just a little while ago. I was very disappointed because I was under the impression he could not be killed by conventional weapons.
Yeah.
So as it turns out,
Don Wrinkles, right?
indeed,
He didn't really wrinkle much.
He didn't.
He was smooth as
No,
a
he
porn
got to
star's-
be 40 like for 50 years.
Dude, he was smooth as a porn star's ball sack for fucking years. After he shaved the hair off on the sides, he did not age after that point. It was fucking freaky. And then a video came out this past week that apparently was recorded like just weeks before he died. And he's ripping Sarah Silverman a new asshole. And he's just sitting down for dinner with comedians and tearing them all a new sphincter.
Just to point something out, you know that Don was a bad motherfucker when he has the strength to rip Sarah Silverman's asshole even further. That's impressive. That right there, because I didn't think that fucking thing could stretch any fucking further. It looks like the tent you put over your house when you're fumigating it. Amazing.
How do you widen the Grand Canyon?
I don't know. We should probably ask some of the people that have given her specials. They might know firsthand.
Oh man, or Jimmy Kimmel.
Well, I
Hey,
mean,
that's what I
It's
was
funny
gonna
because
do.
he never lost a step as a comedian. He was still funny right up until the end. He was still fucking vicious, especially in the modern day with all the political correctness and shit. He was better than ever because he was flying absolutely in the face of all that shit. I mean, normally when men get old, or the older men get, really, the farther they traveled to school as a kid, basically. Like, that's just kind of the way it works. They just get more rambling and less funny. But Don Rickles was he was an absolute genius and savage right up until the very end.
and there's got to be nothing in the world like getting a new asshole torn from Mr. Potato Head.
No shit.
Mr. Potato Head thinks you're an asshole. That says something.
It does.
Oh, just real quick, only because we were on topic of Sarah Silverman. I was going through Instagram, and an advertisement for one of her specials showed up. And I don't leave a lot of comments on Instagram, but on this I did. I just commented in caps, no. And then I kept on going through. I was like, I feel better.
Yes.
Yeah, hopefully they don't put it on a bus station because then you have to get the spray paint with the stars and never mind. Twitter jokes. Don't forget to follow Alpha Omega Sin, myself, Johnny Millennium, and the Razor Fist right there on Twitter. That's right. The commercials are in the middle of the show now.
That's what I forgot to do when I was going to come on here. Since I was your younger, stupider brother, I was going to say how much I supported Hillary Clinton. What else was I going to say? I had a whole fucking bunch of things all planned, and I fucking only got through the Elric one, The Shadow, and Battletech. I can't remember what the other one was.
See, this is why you
I know that Michael Jackson actually molested those kids.
Right.
Damn it happened. It happened. I was one of them.
This is why you got to write your notes on your hand like Roman Reigns.
Well, if you're going to do anything, you need to also discuss how much you do not like Dokken. You need to just tell everybody you fucking hate that band. Jesus Christ, how fucking terrible are they?
And you gotta go tongue kiss Movie Bob's asshole.
Oh, every day. That's what we do around here.
Absolutely.
I mean, you could go get on Movie Bob's good side, but you'd have to take a bus and 3 trains.
I don't even know who the guy is. I just know that he's somebody you don't personally like. Yeah.
Movie Bob has managed to have everybody simultaneously hate him and laugh at him. Like, it just, Jesus Christ, what a fucking guy.
I'll have to check it out. I've never seen any of his stuff ever.
If you've never been angry at a boulder before, give it a whirl.
I just have Resident Evil 5 flashbacks of Chris just like down there beating the shit out of the fucking dungeon.
Falcon Punch!
And then Movie Bob's just like, more to the left.
Yes.
Don't need
When did he turn into Droopy Dog?
I cannot imagine that sound travels well around him no matter what, so it gets distorted once it reaches the ear canal.
I was saying boo-words.
Speaking of stealing jokes, WrestleMania 33. We're gonna do this right now just to piss off all of you. WrestleMania 33 just passed us. We didn't get to talk about it last week because we weren't fucking here, because it's none of your goddamn business why we weren't here. We're here now. Savor it, because soon we'll die and then you'll be really sad. You don't know how soon. But anyway, that's another story.
Yeah.
Alpha Omegason, did you enjoy WrestleMania 33?
Half yes and half I mean, okay, it was a fuck it, yes, I enjoyed it.
I'll say, because I can't say I saw all of it because they keep putting the pre-show earlier and earlier. The pre-show started like on Thursday this year, so I get there fucking late. They
changed the pre-show lineup and time for it like 6 fucking times. So that doesn't help matters a whole lot. But I mean, there was a lot more highs than lows. That's the truth, man. It was a good WrestleMania, by far. Like a lot of decent matches, some questionable matches, just like in terms of why the fuck is this happening at all. But you know,
yeah, it was
the questionable thing is, why did it need Pitbull?
Why did it need to be 9.5 hours long? Is the real question.
It was a goddamn week, if it was anything.
Look, the one thing that should be pointed out is WrestleMania is 9.5 hours long, and we're bothered by that sitting at home. There was people sitting on bleacher seats with no backs to them that were just there the entire time. At certain points, you can actually see cobwebs forming on some of these poor fucking schmucks sitting there. They're just like, you know what? I'm fine with dying here.
Not only that, but some of them had been sitting out in the sun all day before it went dark.
And that's not just the sun. That's the Florida sun.
Yeah.
That is the sun that allows fucking dragonflies and mosquitoes to grow this large and eat small children. You thought that was an alligator. No, that was a mosquito.
Yeah.
That's what happens in Florida.
But what did you guys think about The Undertaker retiring?
Or like, we were going to work up to that, actually.
Let me rephrase that. Do you think he really retired?
Yeah.
Nobody retires from wrestling unless they made a lot of money and the shit doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
I think it's a precautionary maneuver because he's going to have a full hip replacement.
Yeah.
So there's a really good chance he will never be able to move enough ever again to actually get in a ring.
It's interesting because both him and Mick Foley are going through hip surgery, like and like around the same time. It's just kind of odd.
This is different strokes of a different kind.
With Taker though, I mean, nobody was happy about him dropping the streak to Brock Lesnar because Brock Lesnar didn't need it, and it
didn't pan out or do anything after.
No,
there was no reason for it.
For something like that, you want there to be payoff, so you use that as a seed to plant for the future. They didn't, and with him retiring, the match wasn't one of Taker's best. It wasn't no big boss man Hell in a Cell type of deal.
No, it was not. It was. Thank you for bringing that up because that was the first thing I had to say. Is like, at least we didn't have the boss man swinging from a fucking steel cage by a noose.
That was badass.
I mean,
shut the fuck up.
I mean, dude, if that were fucking Batman, sure. But in a fucking sporting event, it's a little off-putting.
It was amazing. I still say that was one of the coolest WrestleMania.
I'm going to agree with Razor Fist. The fact that Big Boss Man getting hung was awesome, and we are here. Just so that we can
for the next WrestleMania.
He came back the next night.
He did.
The Undertaker was coming out, and after he'd beat somebody, and I'm talking like actually beat them permanently, he'd put them in a fucking body bag and then drag them the fuck away. And they never came back. They were jobbers, so nobody would notice if they did come back, but still, they were gone.
And that's not true, actually. One of them was Scotty Too Hottie.
He didn't technically come back. He you know.
Well, you know, he did that thing, and then he was all right again.
Well, see, Triple H doesn't even bother with the body bag. You just. No, so let's just talk about Undertaker. A little tribute here, because we gotta. I mean, this is the Undertaker, motherfucker. This is kind of the last big attraction they have left in the company, and he's gone now. Really.
I mean, in my household, Undertaker was always like holy ground. No joke. That's like that was the guy. I mean, that's my second favorite wrestler in the whole world.
You know what? Shit. Hold on. Sorry to interrupt.
No.
We should talk about our favorite Undertaker moment. That's what we should talk about.
Oh, dear.
Oh, man.
There's a lot to...
I can't even think about any, but I used to love it when they would build a cemetery beside the stage, and he'd like powerbomb people fucking into that fucking coffin. I love that shit.
I want to say my favorite. I want to say my favorite is when he somehow got choked out with chloroform, even though he's supposed to be dead.
Yes.
You look it up. WrestleMania 9. Look it up.
Yeah.
I mean, so you know what? For me, there's just like too many moments. Like the entire angle of him feuding with Kane when Kane first showed up.
Yes, God, one of the greatest builds ever.
They started like giving them superpowers and shit, and people can laugh all they want. One, we already know it's fucking fake, but we suspend the disbelief of all of it and shit because we don't care. It's entertaining. and Undertaker's all about like lightning and shit, and Kane's like fire. And they're just, it was like a comic book. It was like a real life fucking comic book, and it was so cool.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, and actually, my favorite moment would have to dovetail into that. So, like, when I was in Acerbic Young Sprite, I remember voraciously following the Ministry of Darkness storyline. Right, the whole ministry, it was mysterious with just a dash of dick cheese, like you mentioned, with the lightning bolts and the fire pulse. But arguably the finest chapter was the night that the Undertaker invaded Vince McMahon's mansion and abducted his family.
Oh, that's pretty awesome.
They're on the Titantron. They're like creeping like Midian, and the acolytes are creeping on the living room windows, and Shane O'Mac is making frantic phone calls. Like, he's desperate for answers. And so Vince like begs his brother Kane. He's in the ring and he's begging him. He's like, "The Undertaker's got my family. I need help, damn it. The Undertaker's got my family." Kane moves in close. He snatches Vince by the neck. The mask goes up. It's the dead man. Kane was the Undertaker. The Undertaker was the Underfaker. Hit and the lights go out. End of fucking show. Like, fuck counting down the minutes to next week's show. You could program the VCR to tape the fucker with my turgid fucking cock. Like, I think my favorite thing about the Undertaker is that, like, if you permit yourself to sit cross-legged and like legitimately ponder the actual nature of his very existence, you realize he is a literal zombie with lightning powers. There is a
and Ted DiBiase bought him.
Yes.
He went somewhere. He said, "Build me an Undertaker. I will give you all my money."
I mean, people can poo-poo that. Oh, that's stupid. No, fuck stick. That's ratings. That's ratings concentrate.
Look,
like, I mean, think about it. You got the flicker in one hand. You got your El Dente Dongus in the other. You're cycling through channels. Oh, Basketball Wives of Miami, Real Basketball Wives of Miami, Housekeepers of Real Basketball Wives of Miami. Jiminy fucking Christmas, there's a zombie throwing thunderbolts at a gold-plated tranny.
So, okay, there's a question that I have for you guys, because I don't watch wrestling. I only watch like the big fucking like WrestleMania and stuff like that now. But do they have the skits like they used to have in the 90s?
Yeah,
like the Attitude Era. They still do.
I mean, they've got
Here and
skits,
there.
but they don't. It depends on their fucking mood, because they're either white hot or it's somehow a infomercial for Sonic.
Or Kentucky Fried Chicken with the gold shit on it.
Yeah, or they're talking with Muppets backstage.
Yeah, I'm glad that they quit doing the whole thing of, we're gonna have a general manager for the day, and I'm like, please stop, stop that.
No. But seriously, you're flipping through channels, you see that. Are you not turning to your wife and like, "Sweetheart, fetch me my money cannon"? Like, you're just throwing money at the screen. Bottom line, Undertaker was distilled essence of badass.
I thought it was weird that there's people that say, "Oh, his gimmick wouldn't work nowadays," and I'm like, Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, no shit. And what was the Bray Wyatt deal? Randy Orton was freaked out because somebody put a GIF file of worms over the fucking fucking ring.
Oh okay, no, a projection.
I will say this. I actually liked them projecting shit onto the mat only because it was different.
But it made no sense.
I mean,
it's couldn't see the wrestling match. If you can't see it, there isn't one.
He's backwoods and spooky and I don't know, rapey, I guess.
I don't understand what African pythons have to do with being spooky from Louisiana.
Yeah.
I don't get the correlation.
I think this man is just afraid of the South.
Dude, the build-up, though, between Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like, the entire thing, I liked it because...
It was a fine match, what you could see of it.
They did a good callback to the shit that we're talking about right now. Randy Orton goes to the house that is basically like holy ground to Bray Wyatt, burns that shit down, and then takes like his own branded crucifix and puts into the ground where like her remains are and shit, and then like Bray Wyatt's like putting ashes and shit all over himself and like is christening himself, and I'm just like, this is fucking delightful. Like this is wrestling. Like this is over the top shit that I like.
Yeah, I agree.
And it was cool as fuck. Their match was actually like a solid ass match. I was like, good. I thought it was a stupid fucking ending, but that's all deviating from. The Undertaker's awesome.
Yeah.
I just want to point out one thing. I always thought that one of the coolest things visually that they ever did with The Undertaker was I forgot what WrestleMania was, but the one entrance, the whole background was just like lit up and really bright. So he just looked like a silhouette, and they had fog all over the ground. And at the rampway, they had all these hands that were reaching out and shit at him as he's walking down. It looks so fucking badass. And the other one was, they killed the Undertaker. So it was during, I think it was actually, I forget if it was during him fighting Kane or everybody had jumped him to try to end him.
No, it was WrestleMania 20 when he was feuding with Kane. Kane thought he killed him.
The thing where he rises up out of the screen. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That was the coolest shit I had seen in such a long time. Like, because his voiceover throughout the entire arena was like fucking very, very scary and spooky sounding. And then he just rises up out of it, and you actually see his body, but it's not the Undertaker, but it looks just like it, and just up and away. And it was like that right there. And they always went far out of their way to do the most with him, and that's what made him special. Like they always had cool ideas for him until he came out to Limp Bizkit. Then they just took a break.
Yeah,
that's the thing. You can never replace somebody like him and his entire image and everything. It's impossible to ever get anything like that again. And that's why it's sad. To be honest with you, I just sat and watched it all, and they played that music for so long at the end while he was laid on his back, and I'm like, and then he gets up and he walks around, he takes his time, and I was just like, that music was just taking me back to, like 1997 when I got into wrestling and the nostalgia of it all. And I was like, man, there'll never be another Undertaker. This theme, this whole thing is just amazing and very, very sad. Absolutely. Very sad.
I think it's a bummer because God damn, they had to give it to fucking Roman Reigns of all people. Jesus fucking Christ.
Okay. Give me this. Like, who is Roman Reigns now? Is he like hated on guy? I don't know. I just saw him wrestle him. He beat him. That's it.
Roman Reigns is the guy that Vince McMahon essentially is like riding the dick of. Like, he wants him to be the face of the company, but Roman Reigns isn't at that level.
But for a shoot, Roman Reigns is the biggest heel in the wrestling business that no one is putting to use.
Yeah.
You would believe the whole goddamn world hates Roman Reigns if you turn on Monday Night Raw.
I've been watching WWE clips, and I just saw them booing the fuck out of him. He couldn't even get a word out.
He is in the same popularity tier as Kim Jong-un.
He really is. He is.
I mean, what's weird about it is, like, they keep in the back, they're just like, nah, he's the guy. He's the guy. We're going to push him as the guy. But the thing is, fans do not react to him in such a way. Well, what you do with that is you are getting a reaction, but it's more out of people being angry that you're pushing somebody onto them. What you do is you just pull a Rocky Maivia.
Yep.
And all he has to do is come out and you be like, you know what? Fuck every last one of you. I worked my ass off, and you all boo me because I'm better than half these fucking guys out here. What? Because I retired Undertaker? If he went out there and just went off, people would probably start liking him. But the thing is, he's a fucking charisma vacuum, so he can't. Oh, I'm sorry. He's the big dog who's a charisma vacuum. It's fucking annoying.
It's funny because he has quips on Twitter and rejoinders and shit. You can tell the guy actually has some personality in real life.
Yeah, he seems like a nice guy.
His character has none. His character has absolutely none.
Well, and I want to know why they keep putting him against guys who are fucking gigantic compared to him, and I'm supposed to believe that he's the big anything.
Well, that is another thing that's kind of happened in wrestling is just the
I have seen figure skaters bigger than him.
Well, just big men in general have kind of gone away in wrestling. It's weird. You know, the last vestige is like Big Show and Kane, and they're kind of it. And they're old. They're old as fuck. So,
Well,
but
there's actually more money because there's more money being a professional bodybuilder than there is being a professional wrestler.
The biggest one to come along in recent years is Braun Strowman, right? And he's not
Braun Strowman is ex power lifter, and I forget how tall he is. He's
a big old boy, but again, he's not Big Show. There's no fucking 10th wonder of the world shit going on.
Yeah, I mean, no Andre the Giant from back in the day.
Well, see, that's the problem. Andre set this terrible standard, like where there's going to be more of these things.
No,
it was Andre the Giant was kind of like the A-bomb.
Well, and
that's the fucking apex. We can't take this any further, or we're going to blow up the whole goddamn planet.
Well, but they did. That's the amazing thing. They did take it further. Fucking Big Show is taller than Andre the Giant was. And
sure, but he doesn't draw like Andre did.
And back in the day, he could move around the ring, unlike Andre.
Oh yeah.
And
the Big Show still can move around quite well.
And yet he never took off like Andre did, ever. It just didn't work.
Because Andre was that first thing. No one had seen anything like that. By the time Paul White came on, they saw a few of those things.
They were originally building Big Show, which I didn't like the idea even as a fucking kid, let alone now. But they were building Big Show as being related to Andre the Giant.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that's so stupid.
I was like, are you fucking kidding me? The dude's dead and he worked for a completely different company. Fucking stop. Just stop. That's one of those things, like, it's desperate and in bad taste.
Yeah.
Hey, even Hulkamania has retroactive continuity.
It was so fucking weird. But
speaking of rampways, how about that fucking rampway? Holy,
I know, that's huge.
That fucking rampway is longer than the Pacific Coast Highway. Dude, I couldn't believe that. I remember what's funny is what was the match? I think it was the Kevin Owens match against Chris Jericho. Tubby ass Kevin Owens comes out and he's waving at the folks.
Yeah, no. It's a lot like the Pacific Coast Highway, and when Kevin Owens is walking down it, it has beached whales on it too.
Indeed. But he starts walking down the thing and he's waving to the people in an Canadian way. No offense, John. And he's doing his deal. He's doing his
not
deal.
Canadian, it's good.
And then they cut. Well, he's from Montreal, and you know about those Montreal people. And they cut over to a video package, and they're showing a movie about this, and him and Chris Jericho and the list, and this is going on. And this goes on for quite a while. And then they come back, and I forgot that the match was going under the way because the package kept going, and he hasn't even made it to the fucking ring yet. He's still halfway through, huffing and puffing on his way down the fucking ramp.
Can you imagine if Warrior were still around while this shit was going on?
He would have been gassed out 3/4 of the way through.
My favorite shit was during the SmackDown Women's Championship match. Since they had a clusterfuck of TNA entering into this match, well, they would get like maybe 15 seconds into one of their entrance themes and then cut, and then they have the next one. This bitch ain't even far down the ramp, and you already are like a conveyor belt pushing another one out. And it's funny because they're like supposed to be in the middle of feuds. If that would, if we're gonna step outside of like wrestling logic, like when he turned around and beat this bitch's ass before he got to the ring, like it'd be prime opportunity. And I'm telling you, Samoa Joe's music. Okay, Samoa Joe didn't actually get to be on WrestleMania, which was fucking kind of crummy. But his music, it sounds like the tuba that you play when you follow a fat guy. And I don't think it just... Well, when Nia Jax was going down to the ring, I was like, please just play Samoa Joe's music when this big waddling fucking oil tanker is going down to the ring. I will I will die a happy man. Unfortunately, it didn't happen, but you know. And also kudos to Goldberg for making it to the ring.
Indeed, right?
Just
Kevin
making
Owens
it to
is
the
like
ring.
20 years younger.
Dude, they had 4 fucking moves between both of them in the whole match. 4. That's I saw so many fucking spears, and then to realize that the Undertaker was taken out by a spear as well. Not one, not two, but three. And you know what? This is what retired Undertaker. Fuck it, yeah, I'm going back. I'm just kind of annoyed now when I think about it. Roman Reigns just kept running back and fucking forth like Mojo Raleigh, which is just a fucking third grader, hopped up on fucking sugar, and then hits him with a fucking spear. The most overused fucking finisher.
Yeah.
That's what ended arguably the best wrestler's career ever.
The spear is the new power bomb.
Well, you know what? What's the other option? The fucking Superman punch. You wanted Undertaker to lose to crush his finishing move. Really?
He uses the
At
Superman.
least Crush did the
punch
head vice thing.
Yeah.
I'd rather him have just done like a one-man power bomb instead of needing Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose there to fucking help him out. And by the way, I do agree with the whole thing. How is he built up like a big guy whenever you see Seth Rollins in the ring, who's got arms as big as him, and Dean Ambrose, who is taller than him, but he's the big dog? I mean, tons of guys there are bigger than him. I don't get it. I don't understand that marketing. Huh?
He looks much bigger from further away.
I think it's just because most people don't pay attention to fucking Ambrose's height. They're too distracted by the fact that his hairline starts at the back of his neck and refuses to fucking admit it.
You know what?
That emo haircut is not fooling anybody, Ambrose. Jesus fucking Christ, dude.
His haircut is shit, but he is banging Renee Young. Good on him. God damn, because Renee Young, no joke, even though I'd say Alexa Bliss would definitely get her fucking asshole fucking eaten out like nobody's business. Fucking Renee Young, hot bitch. God damn.
I want to say this. I do appreciate it too, because that means that Renee Young has something stuck in her mouth most of the time, and therefore I don't have to hear her voice.
I think that she needs to be on commentary, and you can hate me for that, but dude, we got JB.
As a matter of fact, I'm thinking of leaving the program.
Dude, I'm talking smack. She's fucking awesome. She's quick. She's good with that shit. Man, it's good.
Ambrose is porking.
So the Hardys. We had the Hardys.
The fucking Hardys, who got the pop like a fucking nuclear pop like I've never heard in my entire life.
Yeah.
You'd think the Road Warriors were fucking there. It was gigantic.
How old are those guys now?
Too old.
I think that they're like
old?
40, like 41, 42.
They're in their early 40s.
Let me tell you, I'm in my 40s, and I cannot believe the moves they're doing in their 40s. It's fucking ridiculous.
Well, and not only that, they've been doing that for like 24 years by now.
Now, real quick, the one thing to keep in mind is just prior to them showing up for WrestleMania, they went against the Young Bucks in Ring of Honor in an amazing ladder match, and then went to go to WrestleMania in an amazing ladder match and then get new tag team belts.
What a fucking week they had.
Huh?
I said, what a fucking week they had. Dude,
it kind of blows my mind that like they're that fucking high. I mean, I'm glad because it's I like them even before they became Team Extreme. Whenever they were coming out with Gangrel and shit, I was just like, the new brood. Oh, they're so fucking cool. I thought that they were awesome then, but then they were coming out with Lita, and Lita's fucking easy on the eyes and badass in ring. And then you get to see them all these years later. The whole Broken gimmick, goddamn, the Broken Matt Hardy is easily one of the best gimmicks, one of the best things that's come out of wrestling in like the past decade. Like, no doubt. I just want them to finally hash out all this shit with TNA and get through all the legal battles so that he can start doing that on a much bigger platform and hopefully not held back.
Who's your favorite wrestler? I never asked you that. I don't think. I can't remember.
Stone Cold.
Stone Cold?
Yeah, not particularly in ring, because then I'd have to like go and pick somebody else. But overall, it's Stone Cold. Just that dude. Considering that you were watching wrestling in like the late '90s.
Yeah, I walked right into all of that. That's what.
That was the time that he was on fucking
fire. He was on fucking fire. It was amazing,
dude.
Who's
Well,
your
you and me, like we got to talk about wrestling quite a bit, and that for you, that was like big at the time. Like you got to go into it whenever it was technically at its apex, like at its very fucking peak.
Yeah, I really liked wrestling, and then I don't know when it was, maybe about 2002. I just kind of fell off, and then I didn't get into it till a couple of years ago, and I started. And actually, I find myself now, I'm watching all the WWE clips, trying to catch up on what the fuck is going on, and there's a lot to catch up on. Let me tell you, but my favorite wrestler, Shane McMahon.
Shane McMahon.
Yeah.
Shane McMahon has the weakest punches in the entire
I know.
world.
It's irrelevant. I like, you know what I like? I like him and I like Vince. And the reason why I like them is because they're fucking owners of the company and they risk as much, if not more, than the wrestlers underneath them. I think that takes a lot. I saw Shane like working out before WrestleMania and his routine was fucking insane. And I was like, this guy doesn't have to do fuck all. He can just be in the ring saying, you know, giving commands or doing whatever. But he's pushing it more than the wrestlers he employs. I think great respect. I mean, wouldn't you want a boss that does that?
No, well, because if that's what he does to himself, imagine what he could ask of you.
Yeah, exactly.
All I know is to put a final fucking punctuation mark on the whole Taker thing. With him retiring, I do have to say this. WWE just got a whole lot less fucking watchable. Which, considering it's basically a ravenous case of ass cancer to begin with, is a sobering thought indeed.
Yeah, but on the bright side, Stephanie might have retired.
So there's that. And Goldberg retired too.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for taking the sting out of, you know, Stephanie going through a fucking table. I thought that was like a sports entertainment moment of all time. And Triple H did it, and you know it was probably a little stiff.
Yeah.
Well,
this is for your mother being over all the time.
But before we went on air, we had brought up like, dude, throughout the entire show, it was booty everywhere.
Oh,
and
rocking everywhere.
Stephanie, god damn, did Steph look hot during Mania? She looked like a slut in a fucking Guns N' Roses video, and I was just like, all of this. It made me very happy. I mean, she's always been hot, but seeing her up on the ropes, then going through a table, no, that was like the highlight of the match. Which it shouldn't be a highlight, but it was because it was unexpected. I didn't think that she'd even come down to the ring, let alone get involved in like any capacity.
And get her ass drove through a fucking table.
Yeah, and now she's not on television for the time being. Oh, Hall of Fame, fucking Kurt Angle.
Yeah,
fucking Kurt Angle.
Even though his retirement status is a little questionable.
He's not retired. He's been talking to some people. He's probably going to have at least one more run, and before he actually retires. Because despite the fact that TNA is smoldering shit on a stick, if you got to see any of Kurt Angle's matches in TNA, dude was putting on some epic one-on-one bouts. They were very good. So I'm glad that he's in WWE where he belongs, and him in the general manager role works out well for him because he's funny as fuck naturally. So it works. Yeah, but overall, I thought it was a good Mania. It bums me out because Taker's now officially retired to the biggest fucking dork in the whole company. But what the fuck can you do?
Yeah, it's one of those things, and I want to cap it off by saying it pissed me off the least of so many recent WrestleMania. So there's that. Now, Alpha Omega Sin, my good friend, I understand you've been playing Persona 5.
Just a tad bit.
Is that true? Because I understand you gave up The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild to go on Persona 5. You and Mr. Millennium over there are doing nothing else, not even making love to your wives, doing Persona 5 all day, all night.
Actually, no, you got it wrong. I got my wife playing it. She's in the other room playing it right now. She's
smart man.
She's doing it. No, you know why? I needed a break after Breath of the Wild. That game was so vast and so freaking intense. I'm like, okay, fine, you can do Persona 5. I'll sit on the couch and be a cheerleader. That's fine. So she must be about 40 hours in now.
That's
how far are you? How far are you?
I'm sitting at the 48-hour mark officially.
Already, eh? Wow.
Dude, there was a couple days I just had a lot of time available to me and was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go all in. And the first thing out the gate that I can think of with it is, holy shit, visually, aesthetically, just from an like the actual art design, this is one of the coolest looking games I've seen. It's just very flashy.
I know, even in my like first thoughts on it, I hated to use the word, but you got to use the word stylish.
Oh yeah,
it's like style within style. You know what I mean by that? It's like, even when you just finish a battle, the statistics coming up, going into the next scene, going back into your loading screen, going back and running around is fucking incredible. But I do have some kind of negative things to say about Persona in general here. I just want to see what you have to say. I love Persona, and I like 5. I'm really liking it. But you know what the problem is? After playing so many open world games, it feels kind of limited and very linear in what you accomplish. You know what I mean?
Okay, so I've had open world discussions. I don't even know what to call them. Yeah. But I feel that right now we actually are almost oversaturated with open world games, that I enjoy a linear experience.
Which is fine, but I would argue that Persona is not just a linear. From what I've seen of Persona and what I've played of Persona, it's not just linear, it's like a specific kind of linear. It's like PS2 era. It very much looks and feels like a PS2 era RPG.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very much in that mold. It's not even necessarily a PS1 type or an SNES type linear RPG from back in the day. It's very much in that kind of mold.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I just wish there was a little bit more freedom at times. Like, you have freedom to run around, you talk to your schoolmates and all that, but that's still linear by design. You can't just say, I know you can jump in the cat bus. I don't know if I shouldn't be spoiling anything around here, but you know, you can jump in the bus and go and explore shit and all that. But overall, you're always going to go to the next dungeon. You can't really pick anywhere other dungeon to go until you finish that one.
With this one, in terms of actual like scope and locations available to you,
yeah.
I like this one is easily like double, if not triple, the size of Persona 4.
Absolutely.
That's saying a shit ton, because Persona 4 was almost a fucking decade ago. But with, you know, they're keeping with the style that they began with Persona 3, with Persona 5, and with that, like a lot of the things that you'd want to go off and do in many of the games that we kind of take for granted now, like an open world setting where it's like, we want to go do a side quest, we'll go to that area on the map. And especially when you go from Breath of the Wild, which I did. I went directly from Breath of the Wild to Persona 5, two completely fucking different experiences.
Absolutely.
But I kind of like that I'm put inside of a box to a degree, because for example, I had Arkham Knight, Batman Arkham Knight, which was fucking massive, yet it made me want to play Batman Arkham Asylum, which was a way smaller
experience. Yeah.
And I think it's because they have a more central focus on what they have available to you. So it means instead of them padding out everything with stupid bullshit, that everything matters. Like in Persona, the choices that you make do make a difference. I enjoy that in my RPGs. You know, if you're talking to people, if you're deciding to go down this route, it's going to change certain things about your character, which is going to change things in battle.
Well,
I'm
yeah,
glad that I have
asking you questions, the same thing. Absolutely.
Yeah, dude, we've got a major AAA turn-based role-playing game. That's unfucking heard of in this day and age.
No, it is. And I to be honest with you, going from Persona 4 to 5, it's like black and white. It's unbelievable what they've done with 5. Yeah. Graphically, gameplay-wise, combat-wise, design-wise, monster designs. The monster designs are incredible. I sit and marvel. I'll always go, you know, I'm always like this little girl on the couch when Kim's playing. I'm like, oh my God, look at that. Oh, look at that creature over there. Fuck. You can't believe it. Like, some of this stuff is beautiful looking.
Do you
like,
always become Irish when you watch other people play
I
video
become
games?
an Irish schoolgirl. It's very, and I like it. Thank you very much. Don't label me. I don't want to be labeled here, but have a lot of yeah. I'm just blown away by the design aesthetics. I think it's incredible. No, don't get me wrong. I think the game is great, but I think what's happening to me is open world games are changing my perception of gaming, and I don't know if that's a good thing or bad. That's the thing that's debatable.
Inevitably, I do think that inevitably a lot more games will be open world to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
Not full on where it's just like, you know, we're gonna drop you into a world that's as big as like Skyrim or fucking Breath of the Wild or some shit like that. But it's open in the sense that you can go off and just, all right, what do you want to go do?
Yeah.
And just remember, you have to do this shit. With Persona, it's a little bit different because they would have to redesign the day and night time system.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, you can do shit. It takes up this much time. You can do this, takes up this much time. Now you go on to the next day. And
it's a very formulaic style they've created now. It's taken them a while to get to this exact style.
They got something that works, and it works well. I definitely can't even argue with that. Do I wish that I could do more? I do, but I've also kind of pined for this exact experience. Because I don't get to have this all that much anymore. I grew up with 16-bit and 32-bit role-playing games that were just like this, and Persona started on PS1.
Well, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying that some of my expectations now are changing, which is I find fascinating. Like when I was playing Nier Automata after coming off Breath of the Wild, I was like, "What do you mean I can't climb up that mountain? What do you mean I can't enter that building?"
That's part of the paradigm shift. It really shows how far the paradigm really has shifted.
Yeah.
Because at one time it was Japan was in charge and everything was linear RPGs. And then and studios like Bethesda, it's hard to think of this now, but Bethesda was a tiny little studio. They had 5 employees and they were making these procedurally generated masterpieces that, you know, had land masses the size of Great Britain. They were making Daggerfall and Arena and shit. Yeah. And they still weren't on top, but they were innovating in huge ways, along with like Looking Glass and stuff like that and Ion Storm. And now those indie PC gaming studios are running everything. Mm-hmm. They're running everything. The Looking Glass Studios, one of the guys from there wound up creating the Xbox. You know, and it goes on and on. You can look at the tendrils from these indie studios are in everything now. So now it's kind of the standard now is the open world player agency first kind of role-playing game. You look at what Kojima is doing. Nobody is more into linearity or cutscenes than Hideo Kojima. And Kojima, his last game was an open world stealth game.
Yeah.
I mean, it really
you're right about that. Yeah. Well,
it's like a complete shift because it's something that I've been listening to. Actually, Joe from GameSack, he ended up going and sending this to me, but the Persona 5 soundtrack.
Yeah.
Holy fucking hell. Nothing but just jazz, guitar work, and something that's rare, vocal tracks in a game that don't make me want to fucking throw out my soul.
That's what I talked about. Like I sometimes really go after English voice acting a little harder than I should. Because I usually always, you know, like not that I can understand the Japanese, but it always sounds a little bit cooler to me than, you know, bad English to me. I'll take the Japanese I can't understand over some bad English any day. But holy shit, Persona is the first one I was like, wow, I'm not like picking apart the character. I'm absorbed into the story. There's never a part that I'm going, I'm not really buying this. I'm listening to the characters. It's that good. Yeah, it's not like Breath of the Wild's fucking voice acting is the worst. You know, Xeno Link, you know, you need to do this. I'm going to be a British woman, even though I'm not. See, I can do her voice. You can take my voice right now and put it in. You wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
Indistinguishable.
Exactly.
I mean, the voice acting.
At least it's not Mega Man X4's cutscenes.
I mean, it could be worse. We could be talking about Red Alert. Red Alert's so bad that it deserves an award.
That's
like
incredible.
An actual award. But I mean,
I begin to wonder.
Dude, I don't know why more people do not mention that game and its voice acting. And another gem, another hidden gem for all those out there that love really bad voice acting. Fucking Countdown Vampires. God damn. Oh, it's good stuff. It's good stuff.
Just, so bad it's good, yeah.
It's I'm a homicide detective. Okie dokie. So with but the dude, you're right. The voice acting in it. I mean, I've thought that the Persona team has picked out good voice actors in general, but this time they did something that I've been waiting for and was thrown off when they did do it. The voice actor for Igor sounds like the Japanese voice actor.
Yeah, he's not bad. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, dude, he sounds fucking demonic and scary as shit. And I'm just like he literally sounds like he's like gonna say some shit at the beginning of like some satanic fucking black and death metal album, and then all of a sudden it goes right into track one. I'm like, yeah.
Hey, and those two girls that serve him are such assholes.
Oh yeah, the one I like that their hats spell out oxymoron.
Yeah,
that I enjoyed. But the one, she's always just like berating the show. You fucking inmate, and I'm like, bitch, I've got a fucking name. You won't say it out loud, but I mean, at least show it in text.
Hey, like, I gotta ask you something. Kim was talking about this because I wasn't around for this moment. You know that with your main character, the first persona you have looks pretty cool. At some point, you have to change that persona.
I don't know. No, well, okay, so the personas evolve.
Yes.
I know that in Persona 4, you got, depending on what you were doing in the game, you would be able to evolve it into a third version.
Mm-hmm.
And in this one, I've seen the final version of the main character's persona, but I don't know if there's 2 or 3 or 4 or 5
I know.
or 6
I think
or whatever.
it said that the game made her change it to something else, something that she didn't want.
Oh wait, hon. Well, the main character has his own persona, but you actually get personas you can swap out.
Absolutely, no, for sure. Yeah, I know that. She was talking about the main one that you first get, like the first one you come with. They make you change that or something. I don't know.
I mean,
I'll have to go talk to her later on. Is this something
it might be that it evolved. That's the only thing I can think of.
No,
because I don't recall anything about them taking it away and giving you a completely different one.
Yeah,
because that shit's like all storyline related and stuff like that. But it's
she's just
so far,
ask her.
Dude. I will say one thing. This is one of the hardest fucking RPGs I've played in recent memory.
What difficulty are you playing on?
I'm just playing on normal.
We're playing on easy.
Like they've got like super easy, normal, hard, and then they have a DLC,
downloadable, which is even harder, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, it goes under the name of Merciless, and I'm like, yeah, I don't want to try that, but it's dude, I've died like 6 fucking times throughout all the time there.
This with Bill here. Here's Kim.
Hi, Dad.
Oh, okay. Tell me, how many fucking times did you die?
So many.
Is this no? But what was the thing with your persona in the beginning?
Because I didn't collect enough masks. I just collected 1, and then because I did my first merge, it forced me to use my main persona.
Oh, okay. So get as many as you possibly can. You're gonna need them because that's how you get like different spells and all sorts of other shit. But whenever you go back to the Velvet Room, you'll see you have 2 different options where you can make a persona or you can actually buy one. You can just buy your guy back. It should only be like 3,000 or 4,000. That's it.
Which one is the buy?
There's only 2 options. There's like as soon as you go into it, you'll see 2 options. If I had the screen pulled up, I'd be able to tell you exactly what it says. But one of them is so you can buy back any of the personas that you merge into other things.
Oh, because I was fucking pissed. And now my next question is, the twins ask you to make like specific personas?
Yeah.
I'm stuck on the one with the lion. I can't get the skill set for it because I'm too high up now. I can't go back to Palace 2.
All right. So what you'll end up having to do is this is going to be annoying. You can either try to find a persona, you can find that exact persona in Mementos somewhere that will have that skill, or you'll have to figure out which 2 personas create that and have one of them have that skill already.
Yeah, I can't do it because, I guess I have to go back to the verse thing. What about using a skill card? Getting
I haven't fucked with any of the skill cards because I've just been hoarding them until I get like some final personas, and then I'm gonna use them all on those like final groupings of teams, because most of the skills I got right now are all like low level shit anyway. Like I've got media, which media is good, but it's like it heals light wounds, so it doesn't do a whole lot. I got blank ones. I don't know what they do just yet.
Well, what you do is you take your blank ones to the artist, and he can make specific ones for you.
Well, fuck, then that's going to be good.
Look at this.
Yeah,
You guys both learned something.
So,
Learning matters.
I'm trying to find it so I can make that specific skill set, so I can make that stupid persona for the twins so they can level up their strength.
Okay, I just want to interject here that if you guys offer any more spoilers, we're going to get a flag from Atlas. You know that, don't you?
Okay, goodbye.
That's good.
Thanks, Phil.
So the game's totally been worth, like, it's been worth the wait. I'll say that much. Like, the storyline's been really good. It's just as dark as past Persona games. It's just as fucked up as past Persona games. I've laughed out loud at tons of different side quest shit.
It always has like a lot of adult themes going on, you know, like the perverted gym teacher. You know,
dude, the gym teacher was actually like banging fucking chicks on the side. I was just like, God damn. Like, they were not fucking around with some of the subject matter. Fucking somebody commits suicide. Like,
yeah.
All right.
Yeah, because the gym teacher, right? Yeah, that bit. I saw that.
Dude, they were just doing so much ridiculous shit, but that's the reason why I like the Shin Megami Tensei games. They're just the subject matter they tackle. Like, all the games are satanic, so let's get that out of the way.
That's
like,
a bit is always fun.
And then with like this shit, you know, they're always like dealing with things that are way, way, way crazier than you're used to in role-playing games. And I think that's cool as fuck.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, what's interesting is it's funny that you bring that up, talking about, you know, adult subject matter and seedy offerings and things like that, because I understand that somebody gave an apology about something similar to that. Razorfist was telling me about it, and he says that, now you guys have been sitting there expecting Razorfist to just destroy, let's say it, Mass Effect Andromeda. Now, you guys can't just go and, you know, fucking talk your shit on your goddamn, on your chat boards and all that shit. No, Razorfist has got to say it. Razorfist, the fine folks that make Mass Effect, or as I've heard it deemed lately, Ass Effect. I just want to do that just one time. They offered an apology, not for something related to animation, but what was it?
Yeah, so people have been making fun of their fucking animations for the last, Jesus Christ, the last month and a half. As soon as the first several hours of gameplay were leaked, it was immediately apparent they had fucking cheaped out. And they just admitted in the last couple of weeks that apparently they outsourced the animations to a fucking third-party entity. And that's... Mind you, that's not what they're apologizing for. Yes, BioWare have officially apologized for Mass Effect Andromeda for using incorrect pronouns to identify a transsexual in the game.
Now, so apparently the butt hurt is alive and well in outer space as well. Is that what you're telling me? Because I don't understand the concept. We talked about this before the program. I can't pick up on the concept of transsexual out in space. Because transsexual, and I'm going to say something very fucking insensitive. Welcome to the Hate Bit Podcast. Here on this program, I like to, you know, call it as best I can see it. And from what I've seen here, and in my experiences, that seems like transsexual has more to do with boredom. You're not so much interested in a hetero lifestyle or a homosexual lifestyle. You had to find something else. In space, there's always something else to fuck. If we learn nothing else from the original Star Trek series and Captain Kirk, there is always something else to fuck in space. Always.
Yeah.
So apparently there was insensitivity towards people that really shouldn't exist in space.
I want to point out that they're upset about being insensitive towards using the correct ism on the right planet with fictional characters and races and beings, and how the considering that we're on the verge of World War III and you were offended about the right isms being used in a shitty fucking video game, fuck you. Just fuck you. God damn.
Is it now Okay, a transsexual. Are they in outer space or are they abroad?
Oh, I see. What
I can see what I did there.
Ah, that's good. That's good. That's good. But that's the things we have to take into account. And then we played around with, well, of course you can fuck aliens, and then we wanted to call them sextraterrestrials. So,
So wait, weeks upon ass-pounding weeks of glassy-eyed pepperoni nipple. There were lisping fucking Krogans festooned across meme manufactories the world fucking over. We finally get an apology, and it is not about the quality of the fucking game. Let's not move off this topic, okay? There needs to be an apology for the fucking game. We get an apology because some lady boy with an inside-out dick runs afoul of the fucking pronoun police. I don't fucking get it. I don't fucking get it.
One person here that should be owed an apology, Johnny. You actually suffered through the game.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I got
the only negative review I've ever seen from you, by the way. Jesus fucking Christ.
Okay, can I say something? Though I said in my reviews that I don't review games that I dislike. I let Angry Joe do that, right? Like pretty much. Like I don't want to play Colonial Marines and find out it sucks when I knew it would probably suck anyways. I just want to kind of try to play games I like. But what a disappointment that was! Holy, put it this way: I was over at Victor Lucas's place, a guy who's also a very positive guy, and we're playing the game, and he's turning to me. He's like, what the fuck is this shit? And I'm like, I don't know, man. I said, I can't believe it. We felt so bad. And I said, God, dude, I said, if me and you are disliking this, the regular people are going to fucking lose their minds because we really try to find the good in things. Like, it was that bad. Like
the regular people.
Well, I'm just talking about like the average video gamer who's just like, yeah, oh, wait, I don't like this. Where I always try to find the better, try to find a little bit of good in something, even if it kind of sucks. But no, the whole thing sucks.
It really does. I just imagine the SJWs who are actually pissed about this shit and actually pissed in BioWare's ear about it, just sitting in the fucking fart huffing ether. They're just sitting there looking at this footage. They're like, hey, what's that? The game locks up like fucking Yahtzee without a script. If you so much as fucking sneeze at it, well, go ahead and fix it in post. What's that? Tommy Salami was misidentified as a broad instead of a pangendered monozygotic spotted codamundi. Light the fucking virtue signal. Jesus Christ.
If nobody in Mass Effect goes by the name of Tommy Salami, I would like to be the first person to go and edit the code, which they can thank me fucking later because obviously I'm fixing shit, and put in Tommy Salami. Whenever I go onto my ship, I'm like paging Dr. Salami. Dr. Salami. Oh, there you are, Thomas.
And now I'm craving a fucking sandwich. Jesus.
Dude, you can always look at Brock Lesnar's ring gear and then just there you go. All those Jimmy John adverts. Jesus, he had a Jimmy John's hat, by the way. Yes, sorry, one more last jab at wrestling. But I just find it odd that the ones that bitch the most about this shit are the only motherfuckers not playing it.
Yeah.
At all.
Okay, hey, I have a story for you. I haven't told this anywhere because, okay, so I almost got in a fight when the game came out, the day the game came out, in my place. This is no joke. So I won't say who, but a friend came over, not Rob or anything like that. Just, a friend of a friend came over. We're just hanging out, and I was telling him his girlfriend was getting Mass Effect that night. It was just getting delivered. And I know she's a big fan of it and all of that. So that's cool. So I said, dude, it's fucking terrible. And I'm going on like this. And so he's sitting there and I'm like, let me show you some meme videos on YouTube. I got to show you this. So no joke. I put this on. I'm taking the glasses off this. I put it on and I look over at him to see, and I'm kind of smiling, laughing at some of these things. And all of a sudden I look at him. He's not smiling. He's like fucking furious. He's like, and then all of a sudden, I swear to God, he turns to me and he goes, fucking turn this off. Turn this shit off. This is fucking juvenile. Turn it off. And I'm like,
What?
That's it. And I'm like, he's in my place. I invited him over for a happy day. You know, and I'm like, and he's like, Mass Effect is about the story. It's always been about the story. And I'm just like, yeah, dude. I said, I realized. I said, but this game is bad. It's not finished. This game has so many issues. And he was. It took me about 10 minutes to kind of calm him down. And then when so this is like the ultimate fanboy. Calm him down. He's fine. And then all of a sudden he starts coming after me about Zelda's graphics. He's like, well, you showed me Zelda. Zelda was like fucking, that's terrible looking. He said, you seen like, like any Elder Scrolls game like that? I'm like, oh, we're going there, are we? Like, holy shit, this guy is pissed. I'm like,
oh, so he was getting the game for his girlfriend then, is what he was.
Yeah, well, yeah. No, like she's a big Mass Effect fan. And I decided to show him this video showing him, I don't know if you've ever seen that guy Dunkey, what's his name? No, he does some funny commentary over like video game stuff. He's really funny. So I show him this stuff on YouTube again to show him all the physics that happen in Zelda, to show him some of the cool things that happen. And again, he shuts me down. He's like, "Turn this just off. This is juvenile. Why are you watching this stuff, John?" He's like, "You're 40 plus years old. You're watching this fucking guy give commentary like that." He goes, "What's that big guy on YouTube?" He didn't even know PewDiePie. He's like, "That guy Pewdie, whatever." Like South Park did an episode on him. I'm like, "PewDiePie?" He's like, "Yeah." He goes, "Because these guys are fucking a dime a dozen. Blah blah blah." He's like, "You shouldn't be watching. This is garbage. This is garbage." And then it was so funny. I had to sit with him for another 40 minutes before he went to work at my place. And I'm like, "Is this guy leaving yet?" And I was sitting there like, "Is he done?" The worst fucking thing ever.
You have to be the nicest man I've ever heard of. Somebody came into your house, shit on your lifestyle and your family and every last bit of whatever it is that makes you, and then you just said, "Gee, I hope you're going to work eventually."
You sure this guy wasn't a refugee?
No, he had long hair though. But he texts me afterwards and he's like, "Hey, thanks for having me over. Sorry I got a little passionate about the YouTube stuff, And I'm like, there's a difference between passion and anger. Like, you know what I mean? And that was like, there were so many fans out there that wouldn't accept that Mass Effect was not good. I wanted it to be good. What do I want to play a game that sucks? I don't want that either.
Yeah. I think part of that is probably because of how stratified they got by the Mass Effect 3 ending controversy.
Yeah.
They were like ready and waiting to defend this game with fucking swords drawn. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Dude, I just don't understand. Like, there's all sorts of franchises and games and companies out there that I enjoy a bunch, like through and through. But if something's busted, it's busted. Don't sit there and be like, "All right, I'm gonna defend this fucking turd." Like, you should be as upset, if not more, because you are a genuine big time fan, and they just delivered this.
Hey, hey, great example. I love the E series, but if I played an E's game and it was bad, the controls are bad, the graphics were glitching, I'd bring it out. Like I reviewed E's Origin and I liked the game, but I said, the sound cuts out. In fact, the sound disappears at times. Like you have to say these things, or you're living in a world of denial.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to ignore the shortcomings of anything, let alone a game like this, Mass Effect, I truly only gave a shit about the first one. Second one was okay. Third one could give a hot fuck less. This one, I maybe for $1. Yes, a game somehow cheaper than Battleborn, but get it for $1. And then I'd be like, all right, I'm going to play this because I want to see how bad it is. And I want to get it patched at all. No patching. No patching. Can't allow that. I need to see it in all of its glory.
It's just subtly disappointing. Like, there's entire times when you're talking to an alien character and their clothing is flapping in the wind, but there's no wind. And nobody none of the bushes are moving. And I was like, what's happening? Like, it's really odd. It's like this weird plastic is flapping, and it's like there's no reason for it.
Yeah, and when your protagonist's face becomes a meme, your game is fucked. Like, your game is just plain fucked.
Yeah.
In every hole.
The last time that a video game protagonist face became, or actually it wasn't a protagonist, but Assassin's Creed how it got all fucking glitchy, and that one dude who looked like nightmare fuel,
Oh,
and he was
God.
just like floating eyes and teeth, and I was just like, ugh.
Yeah, and that game literally killed the Assassin's Creed franchise. Like, that's why it's no longer annual.
And you know what they did to make up to make up for it? They're like, here's the Assassin's Creed movie. There you go.
Oh fuck!
When the response to how do you feel about the movie?
Yeah.
When it's just laughter. Like, oh, it must be.
You mean that Sci-Fi Channel original movie they put in theaters?
Dude, sci-fi original movies have way more heart.
Yeah,
Way more heart.
It's
And I know that's a stretch for sci-fi movies, but I'm trying. I'm picking the best words I can for that. But
oh my God.
with Mass Effect, to get angry and upset and defend that, I mean, it's come the fuck on. Like,
I was
especially-
shocked. Yeah.
Dude, when you show somebody funny things and you're gonna act like you're better than it, come
Yeah, I know. I just said afterwards, I'm like, well, I'm never inviting that guy over again. And it's funny, I responded to his text by saying, hey, no problem, man. It was just nice seeing you. I've never invited anybody over and had that response. Like, I invited him over to play some X-Wing VR. I brought him a couple of cups of tea. I was the perfect, house warming kind of guy for my friend. I was trying to make him have a fun afternoon. And yeah, the Mass Effect thing really upset him. It really upset him because it's all about the story. It's all about the story.
Well, you know what? It can be all about the story, but you still need to get through a clunky, shit-filled pothole of a game to get to the story, and then realize even that's disappointing.
Well, and I'm not even hearing the story is particularly good. For context, the ending to Mass Effect 3 was written by the same guy who is producing Mass Effect Andromeda. He is now the project lead. That's all you need to hear, folks. That's all you need to fucking hear.
Because video games, like in Hollywood, you fail upward.
Oh, yes.
That's right. Anyway, that's it for the Hate Bit Podcast. Thank you guys very much for dropping by. We hope you had a great time. Come to see us next time. I'm your intrepid host, Yell Chaos. Joining me all the way from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Alpha Omega Sin.
I have to get back to sucking dick to make money to pay for Warhammer. So that's my evening.
Way over there in Phoenix, Arizona, the Ravishing Razor Fist.
And I'll be the one purchasing the fellatio. I'm going to do it under a bridge later, I think.
And way over there, and with his own kind of fellatio there in Vancouver, Canada, Nega Fist.
Oh, yes, me. I will be watching from the sidelines and just rallying the troops on. Good show, old boys. Good show.
Rallying the troops as they land on my beard.
How did that happen? What an accident.
There's a lot of semen in that outfit. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, follow us on the social media and all that shit. HateBitPodcast@gmail.com. We love you and we know you hate us. So bye-bye. We'll see you next week.